What is it like owning a business? Do you have to be NCIDQ certified in order to start your own business? Have I had any issues with client expectation? When there is a huge competition in the market and lots of successful interior designers, how can we make our own client base? How do we address to a niche without knowing what our niche will be? Is it possible to start a business in interior design without actually working with a design firm? How did you start your career? How did you get your first project? Tips on pricing. How do clients find you and how do you get your business work? Those that are new, my name is Sandra. I have my own interior design business here in Illinois, and today I will be addressing the most commonly asked questions I get, business edition. A lot of you have messaged me saying that you're looking to start your own business and you have like all these questions that are pressing when you are thinking about starting your own business, and I know it can be like a mystery and a lot of you have had the same question, so I'm just gonna address it all here so everyone can learn. Without further ado, let's get started. First question is, what is it like owning a business? I'm gonna speak on my behalf, on my personal experience and what it's been like so far for me. There will definitely be some lows and highs. There will be times where you feel like you're on top of the world, and then there will be times where you're just like feeling a little bit slumped. It can feel very liberating and stressful at the same time. You will have to, basically work every day in order to succeed. If you want your brand to grow, if you want to continue growing as a designer, you have to constantly keep putting in the work and keep learning. I am super happy with what I do. This is like my passion. You have to make sure you have that drive and that passion to keep moving forward, because if you don't and you're just doing this just for the money or something, you will get burnt out pretty quickly. So as long as you have that drive and passion and dedication, you will do great and succeed. Because I've had moments where I feel a little bit slumped, but I just pick myself right back up, remember my goal, and I feel that passion. So that's how it feels like owning a business. It's a roller coaster, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. So next question is, do you have to be NCIDQ certified in order to start your own business? Not necessarily, but check with your state codes. I live in Illinois, so it is not a requirement for me to be certified in order to start my business or provide design services. I know there's states that are, so just check. As a matter of fact, I think I will look for a link that will show you, so I'll have that listed down below. Are there any requirements to start an interior design business? There are no requirements to start a business. When you want to start a business, you're gonna do it. No one's gonna tell you no. What are clients gonna say? Oh, you have to have requirements for me. No, they're not gonna say that. The only requirements that I can think of is just getting your paperwork done, business bank account, and getting all that technical accounting paperwork done. Have I had any issues with client expectations? Not really. I like to set very clear expectations from the very beginning during these consultations. I like to, be very upfront and let them know what to expect. I have examples to show them so they have like a good idea of what they will be presented and what I will take care of and what I will do. Really set that tone from the very beginning, and being honest too. Most people kind of have a generalization of what interior designers do. Some people think that we go shopping with them, but that's not what I do. So I think you really have to have that good conversation and pretty much spell it out to them, like, I do this, I don't do this. So I think that just also comes with time, is just learning the right questions to ask them. When there is a huge competition in the market and lots of successful interior designers, how can we make our own client base? And this is a really great question. There's going to be competition everywhere, but when you are making your own client base, I feel like it always starts off with family and friends. At least that's how it started with me. You design something for your family or for your friends, and then they tell their friends and their family, and then they tell their friends and family. So it's a whole cycle, and I feel like that's how it always starts. When you work with those people, they trust you, and so they tell people, and they tell them that they trust you. So it's like a trusting cycle in a way. Also, social media. I know social media is really big now, so kind of using your platform and creating your voice and making sure that people understand, you know, you are unique and, you know, what sets you apart from other designers. I think that's just how you start making your own client base. You just gotta start somewhere with someone because then word will get out. How do we address to a niche without knowing what our niche will be? I would say by being open from the very beginning and accepting different types of projects and clients and with different tastes in design. At least like that's how I like to see it. I am still pretty open to different design styles because I want to be able to experience them. I mean, how will I know if I don't like it if I don't try? And if you don't like it, now you know for next time, like what to avoid, and you know, kind of, you know, narrow it down on like your niche and your strong points. I really love designing modern spaces, but then I also really love designing funky places with lots of bold pattern and vibrant colors. I have yet to have like that client, which I am dying to hopefully one day. So I'm just keeping my options open because I think it's just like, I just love expressing people's taste and aesthetic. I think that's kind of like my niche. I don't know. You might just really love designing modern spaces and that could be like your niche, but I would say just keep your options open. Try it and see if you like it, and if you don't, now you know. Is it possible to start a business in interior design without actually working with a design firm? I mean, yeah, who am I to tell you no? There are designers who have started from scratch and they are really successful, and there are people who start their business right after college. You don't have to work for a design firm before, but I will tell you that it will probably be rarely helpful for you to get some insight on how the process is. But you know, every designer has their own different processes. Throughout my years, I've kind of seen how people have their different styles and how they kind of provide services, and I think it's great to get that experience. But again, if you have a certain way, you know how you want to drive things, by all means, go do it. How did you start your career? Well, I always knew I wanted to be in the creative industry. I've always loved art and being creative. And in high school, I took a fashion class, which I realized that was not for me. And then I took an interior design class and I fell in love with it. While I was in class in high school, there were some reps from college who came to speak about that school, and this is Harrington College of Design. They were telling us of what they, you know, can offer, what they can teach regarding, you know, an interior design career, and I immediately fell in love with it. I knew this is where I wanted to be. This is the college I wanted to go. So after I graduated high school, I went to that college, got my bachelor's, and then after I graduated, I started working in the field, and here we are, long story short. How did you get your first project? So my first real client was actually my sister's boss at that time. And he was looking to refresh his office and help him with his house. My sister had told him like, hey, she's a designer, you should reach out to her. And I was a little bit hesitant because I didn't start my business at that time. I was still like on the fence of like if I want to start my own business or move to Florida and start working with a different design firm. So, you know, this actually pushed me to start my own business. So I have to thank my sister for that. Which leads me to my next question is, did you show a copy of your work you did at your previous job to your first client? How did you convince them? Well, basically, after we exchanged like information and chatted through emails, we set up a consultation. So I went to their house. With me not having like any experience on my own, what I did is I showed them projects that I did in the past, basically talking about my skills and qualifications and my experience. Like I was like, oh, I've had this amount of years in experience in the design industry. So that's how the consultation pretty much went. And then after that, when I got home, I sent them like a follow-up email, like thank you so much for meeting with me, kind of restating, you know, what I could provide to them. And I would say like there's not really any convincing. I mean, I'm not a pushy person. So eventually they did reach back out and they hired me, and to this day they are recurring clients. Can you talk about building connections, dealing with trade workers, and outsourcing stuff for your company? Well, as you start getting into the field, you're bound to meet all these new people in the industry: contractors, electricians, handyman, trade people, and you start making connections with them. You start exchanging business cards. So when I started, I didn't have like my go-to contractor, handyman. I didn't know anyone besides me that I could provide design services. So some of my clients already had their preferred contractor or painter. So since they were like on site and I met them, we started, making that connection and started exchanging information. And I got to, see how they work and see if they are, worthy of me kind of bringing them on and kind of working with them again in different projects for the future. You're bound to meet these people eventually and start making connections and see who you like to work with or not. And that could also be from you reaching out to other contractors, handyman, other people. Do that research beforehand to make sure that they are credible and have good reviews, because I don't think you want to hire a bad contractor. When you start your business, make sure that you start setting up accounts with all these retail stores and design trade programs. That way you get the discount. I know there are designers who get a discount on furniture when they purchase it or whatever material, and they mark it up to the client to kind of make a little bit of extra shmoneys. And there are designers who full on give the clients their discount, but the designer buys it. So it depends on you how you kind of want to go that route, but make sure you set up those accounts with those vendors. All right, so the next question is always such a tricky question. Tips on pricing. So there's several ways you can go about charging clients. You can charge hourly, you can charge a fixed rate, you can charge per square footage. But I would say like the most common and popular way that people charge is hourly. You're probably like, oh, well, what do I charge per hour? So I found this really great website that shows you kind of like a range. And the range for an interior designer is $50 being like the lowest to $300 being the highest. The number can go up. You can charge as much as you want. The medium range is like 100 to 150 per hour. That could be low for some states. That could be high for some states, depending again on your area. I would say take a look at like your qualifications, your experience. What do you feel comfortable charging people? And in your area too, are people willing to pay the higher price for an interior designer? I know there's like a lot of designers here in Chicago and their pricing probably varies. And I know there are designers who charge big bucks, there are designers who charge low. It's always tricky. Just see what's comfortable for you. What do you feel comfortable charging clients? And that can always change. No one's telling you to pick a set price and you have to stick for that forever. No, you can kind of, bring it up or bring it down, bring it a little bit more up, and you can, test the waters to see what people are willing to pay for, find like your good ground. Will you make a living out of it too? That also comes in consideration. Like, is that livable? Will you be able to kind of pay yourself and make a good living wage? So yeah, I hope that helped on the pricing. I know it's not very direct, and again, it's different for everybody. Last question is, how do clients find you and how do you get your business word out? So clients have been finding me through several ways: word of mouth, social media, and YouTube. I actually have gotten a lot of traction through YouTube because of a very specific video. I did not think that this would blow up the way that it did. A year ago, I made a one-bedroom design for men video, and it's blowing up and a lot of people have been contacting me. So I've been having a lot of e-design requests that way, which is crazy, but I thought this was going to be like a silly video. Once you get the word out, there will be people who will support you that you don't know or never thought will support you. Like, I have had a couple of high school friends refer me to other people looking for a designer, which is so crazy. So there will be people out there kind of spreading your word and business and supporting you. So that's really nice. Well, that is all the questions. If you guys have any more questions you want me to address, drop it down below and I will probably make a part 2 if there's enough questions. But I really hope that this helped you guys who are looking to start your own business. And again, I think that is amazing that you are wanting to go that route, and I wish you nothing but the best. Just remember to keep pushing forward, you know, keep one foot forward and don't look back. Don't worry about what other people say. You know, don't listen to haters, and you know, you got this. As long as you believe in yourself, you will make it. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and please give it a thumbs up. That would really help me out. Thank you for all the new subscribers. I'm so happy to have you guys on board, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.